Was the last episode the episode of my disgusting coffee? My coffee is better. I'm out of practice. It's been 2 weeks. Sounds right. It's been 2 weeks since I've talked to my phone blankly. So it was really difficult to get started this morning. But if I don't record today, then I won't record until next week. And believe it or not, some of you miss me. Believe it or not is me. Like, believe it or not, Rocío, some of you miss me. So I'm here. But I'm here freestyling today because I don't have notes and I have just a lot of like life updates and just random stuff. So I think I'm just gonna go through that. And I'm going to just coffee and talk out my thoughts. I think if I talk out my thoughts, then the coffee chat will get rolling. So I'm a terrible wife, and I had completely forgotten that last week my husband took vacation time. So if I recall correctly, I even think I think that I said like my last video was my floss tube. So I was like, oh, I'll see you next week, right? Totally forgot. So Monday I posted to you guys that I was a terrible wife and I totally forgot about my husband's vacation time. He came home, I think it was on Friday? Thursday? Days. He came home on a day and was like, I'm on vacation. And, a good wife would say like, oh, it's so exciting. I'm so happy. But this wife was like, you're what? When? How long? So immediately he was like, well, you don't want me home? No, I'm a planner. So in my head, I have to plan for activities and my schedule. So it's crazy because even when you don't work, you have like a schedule and you have a routine. Even though the routine changes all the time in COVID times, you have a routine or a schedule. So when something gets thrown, like I'm going to be home all week, then your schedule and your routine kind of change. What do we do? Oh, we were supposed to, and I totally forgot about that too, but just because time had been flying by. We were supposed to do a boat trip to the islands, to the Cocohamas, which is like 3 hours boat ride from here. But we had to get creative because COVID. You can't dock on the island, so we were going to sleep in the boat. You guys know that I'm not an ocean girl, so for me it just all sounded like a nightmare. But my husband is definitely an island boy, and I think he's mentioned several times that he would love to work on a boat and travel the world. He's a free spirit, and I am a free not spirit. But with his luck, and this always happens to him, when he's on vacation or when he has plans to do something, his plans always fail by the weather. The weather hates him. So as soon as we were just about to book the boat trip, I think it was 2 or 3 storms were like in the Atlantic, including the hurricane that's hitting today. I think it's Sally. I think Sally's hitting today. Not here, but all of those storms were traveling by us last week. So we didn't do the boat. And we had a lot of rainy weather, which for me is great. I love rain. I love thunderstorms. I love rainy weather because it also means I get to stay indoors and stitch. And watch TV and do or floss tube or YouTube or whatever rabbit hole I'm in at that point in time. Which also was great for my progress, which I'm gonna see. So today is kind of like a crazy day. If you guys could see my kitchen right now, it's like my dad would be so embarrassed about my kitchen right now. So I have housework to do. And I really want to take advantage of recording today and catching all of you guys up on my progress on my stitching and possibly put out a floss tube. But we'll see. We'll see how the day goes. Next week should be a little, well, I guess I have to just say it, right? I have big news. We are leaving the island. I've told some of you guys in private, but I've known this for a long time, and I think I've danced around this news a little bit on my videos, that we didn't know if we were going to be staying until the end of the year and all of that stuff. My husband's visa's up, so we are actually transferring to Houston, Texas. I'm going back to Texas, and I am a lot happier than what I seem, but we are not caffeinated yet. But in moving during a pandemic, a lot of things become complicated. So we have to sell our 2 cars. We have to, when I say we, it's pretty much me. I have to sell our 2 cars. I have to go through all of the stuff and figure out how many boxes we think we're gonna have to take. The majority of our stuff is just clothes and like kitchen appliances, like the small appliances. My stitching will fit in a suitcase. That's going with me. So that's another part of what I need to be doing today. It's like doing the initial assessment of stuff. We're hoping to get movers through here within the next month to take our stuff. And the reason being, we live in a furnished apartment, so we can survive without our stuff. Next plan would be go back to San Antonio in October and stay there, I guess, through the holidays. I don't know. Like I said, I'm very excited. I'm very, very excited about this. It is bittersweet. I am gonna miss the island, but living on an island during a pandemic is not normal. It's very complicated. It's terrible. It's terrible. So things, I mean, I think on a different video, I can do a more clear-headed things I'll miss from the island and things I'm excited about not missing on the island. But if I were to do that today, it would just be like negative, 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 negative. It would just be like, no, there's nothing good here. Never live here ever, ever, ever. And that's not true. That's not true. So it's not a good day to talk about things I'll miss, because today I'm not seeing a lot of things that I'll miss outside of just like the view and the weather. Again, there are way more things that I will miss, but I'll talk about that probably in a different video. I don't know if I look tanner, but so on the days that it didn't rain, I was with my husband basically outdoors. So the level of sun exposure, I am extremely tan right now. And I think I've had enough sun exposure for a while. As you can see, I am light-skinned. So light skin and intense sun don't do well. And my husband is very brown. So he just goes from brown to darker brown. So he doesn't have the same issues as me in terms of skin. We did a lot of pool, more pool than anything, because, okay. So we are members to a club here. And that club is a club slash hotel slash residence slash whatever. And we, in being a member, we have access to like all of their amenities, including the pools, their beach, the gym, restaurants, and all of the stuff. So since we've been in lockdown, we haven't been able to go to the club for a million years. And since right now, like life is COVID normal, everything's pretty much open. We can do whatever, just you have to wear a mask. so we can be out on the street. I think there's a curfew of 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. still in place, but I mean, it's a pretty normal COVID life. So we took advantage of last week and going whenever we could, because of the weather, whenever the weather was good, and because we don't know, like we live right now every day as if they're gonna shut us down the next day, because we're in that, I mean, we're used to that. We're used to like, oh, things are doing fine, let's shut everyone down. Or if the cases go up slightly, shut everything down. So everything, we're very, like, that's how we live. We live thinking that they're gonna shut us down the next day. Some good funny stuff that happened while he was home. We got along very well. We spent a lot of fun time together, which was surprising because it's crazy how like COVID can, make you guys like tense and but since this past week, like I said, things have been a little more normal, COVID normal. We actually had a really good time. And even on the rainy days, like he enjoyed the rainy days just sleeping. We slept so much. And so I think that's another reason why my routine is completely out of whack. We would go to bed like at 2:30 or 3 and then wake up like at noon, 1. I mean, total 14-year-old boy style. If you guys follow me on Instagram, I always like putting up updates, stitching updates like at midnight, 1 in the morning. And that's not normal. And I typically on a normal day will wake up at 9 by myself. I was waking up at noon, just sleeping and waking up. And then we would, if the sun was like out and the weather was good, I was lathering up sunscreen, like multiple layers of sunscreen. And then we would head over to the club and then eat the same grilled chicken sandwich that I eat every single time. I'm finally eating out again. Crazy. And so it was a good time. So some funnies. We were out of water, not out, but we were dipping into our emergency water. So he got to live because he has not been home, normal home COVID, ever. He's always worked. His vacations, like anytime we would vacation last year, we were like vacationing out or getting married, normal things. So he got to live a little bit here, and Tuesday came and I was like, it's water day, and so he's like, okay, well, what time does the water truck come? I don't know. You have to be alert and you have to make sure that you hear it. And when you hear it, you need to run outside because they're going to speed by and they're not going to wait for you. And he was like, there's no way. Like, that doesn't happen. You're exaggerating. You're on water duty, bro. You're home. You're on water duty. Well, I don't do water duty for a week. So I don't think he heard the truck. I heard the truck and I was like, go run and check and see if the water's here. And so he's funny. He's just, my dad is probably laughing here, and my best friend Brenda, like he's just a character, and he likely will never get on the screen here ever. Never. I doubt it. But he's just a character. And so he ran outside. I gave him money, like a little kid, like, here's your money. You're going to give the money to the water guy, and the water guy is going to give you the bottles, and you're going to do a swapperoo. And so he's out there with like 4 empty jugs of water, and the water truck had come, like I could hear it, but it was like making the round like on the back. But since the week prior he sped and left everyone without water, I guess people were extra attentive on Tuesday. So my husband was waiting out there with the jugs. Long story short, he came in like 50 times and was like, this is ridiculous. Like, I'm not going to sit here and just keep waiting. And I'm like, that's fine. If you don't wait out there, they're not going to stop for you, and you're just going to be without water. I'm good. I've got Diet Coke and coffee. I can survive off of that. But he drinks a lot of water, so we'll just be without water, no big deal. How many times can I say water in a video? Water, water, water. So then he's like, he comes in and he closes the door. And I'm like, where's the water? Like, you didn't get it. And so he goes, no, I left it. Oh, guys, this is an insight into my life. I left the bill, like the $20 bill, because it's $5 a jug, 4 jugs, $20. I left the $20 bill on the top. And I'm like, the bill's gonna like fall into the empty jug. No, it's not. I have it enough out that it's not gonna fall in. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Okay. So another maybe 2 minutes went by and we still hadn't heard the water guys like come by near us. And so I tell him, can you please go and check? Like, just go and peep outside. So he goes, and then he runs back inside, and he's like, the 20's gone. I wanted to kill him, and I'm used to this. I've been doing this for 7 years. I'm used to this. So I'm like, I told you shouldn't put the freaking $20 bill in there. And he's like, no, I think it flew away. I don't think anyone took it. I think it flew away. And so he went out and hunted down the $20 bill while I was already giving him another one. Long story, super long, and I don't even know if this is even entertaining to you guys. He found the $20 bill that was blown away, and he ended up succeeding in the water exchange and the payment and everything. And I have a new grown level of respect on his behalf. Does that make sense? Like, he respects me way more because of the water situation. I know that I'm telling you, like, then other things. So here's another good husband story. Back in the day, way back when, 7 years ago, 6 years ago maybe, my husband and his group of guy friends were really into fantasy football. And I am not a football, NFL, like the American football, because I know I have a lot of international people here. Football for us is soccer. So no, this is the NFL American football, the fantasy league. So for those who don't know what fantasy is, you create a team based on players that are in the NFL, right, on different teams, and you like pick a quarterback and you pick the other positions. That's how much I know. The other positions, and you create a fantasy team. And what it does is you watch the games, because based on, like, all of the games, because based on how your player performs in the games is how your fantasy team is going to perform. It gives you the points. It gives you the points based on like their performance on their respective live games. Your fantasy team, okay. There's like a correlation there. So anyway, 6 years ago, my husband, again, is a character. And he was almost like undefeated in his fantasy football league because he would take fantasy to another level. And it made it so entertaining for me, because what he would do is like his team, he would study his team, not just based on like performance in the games, but he would take it to personal life. Like he would follow them, I guess, yeah, Instagram was around, like their Instagrams, their Twitters, tabloids, like how's their life at home? Oh, he's going through baby mama drama, so he's probably not going to perform very well, so I need to swap him or I need to bench him. And he would do all these things. And, you know, he did really, really well. And I got a kick out of it from my end because it was entertaining, you know, like I would ask him, you know, how's your league doing? And oh no, like what's the drama here? This girl loves drama. So he tells everybody he retired. He retired from fantasy football because he just does not have the brain space to keep up with all of this stuff. So he had retired. But that left a void for me because I really enjoyed fantasy. I don't care about American football. I don't have an NFL team. I don't care. But the fantasy team was hilarious. It was such a fun little thing. So last year, no, we're coming up 2 years, right? Yeah, 2 years that I've been here. So 2 years ago, he had been retired for, I guess, a year or so. And I said I wanted to start a fantasy team, but I don't know the beginnings. I don't know how to do it, you know? And he was like, no, no, no. So at that time, like, we were going through the limbo of, are we leaving? Are we not leaving the US? So it was too much to keep up with or whatever. And then last year, same, like, we were traveling and we couldn't keep up with fantasy. And so this year, we really have no excuse other than the move, but like, we're home all the time. I'm home all the time. And the first week of NFL football started, like, this is week 2, so week 1. And the draft had already happened, like, to be able to participate in week 1. But I was telling him, like, you know what, like, I'm tired of waiting. I'm gonna do it for me, myself, and I'm just gonna play and just have fun with it. And he threw like a fit, a huge fit. No, I told you I was retired. I don't have the brain space to keep up with this. Like, no, 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 no. Don't do it. Don't do it. If you do it, I'm gonna be really mad. Don't do it. If you know me, nobody can tell me what I can or can't do. I do what I want when I want. Which is probably the part that he would want to kill me over. So I drafted. I joined an auto league. I have, like I said, this arena is just 100% fun. I'm not here to win, but I do have a competitive nature, but it was more to like poke at my husband while he was here. So I was like, no, I'm in a league. And he's like, what? What's your team name? I'm like, no, we're the Gaspachitos. Like, duh. And he's like, oh my gosh. And like, he's stressing out and he's just so mad because he's like, what are you doing? Let me check it out. When is your draft? And so we had the draft at 10:30 p.m. that same night. Like, I joined the league, I guess like at 7 p.m. and my draft was at 10:30. He was up in arms and just in a tizzy, and he like started researching all of the players, and he follows a lot of sports. Like, he's very into all sports, all of them. He knows a little bit about everything. So he just wasn't caught up in the personal lives of the players. It turned into this whole thing. And so I drafted my team. He helped me, and we are set to play our first week this week, and I am not projected to win against the opponent, but according to my husband last night, my team, like, he was explaining it to me, but basically there's a chance I could win. I just have to call up my quarterback and tell him to do a couple of things, or not do a couple of things so that I can win this week. So yeah, fantasy football. Long story about fantasy football. So that was really exciting. And I guess my first game to watch or like to follow to see how my players do is this Thursday. And we'll see how that goes. Again, my husband, my dad is probably shaking his head. Like, we don't do football. I'm a pseudo-American family. I'm first generation. So a lot of the American culture is not real ingrained and set in us. Football is definitely one that didn't occur. But my husband, who was born and raised in South America, loves the NFL and football. So, born and raised American, no football. Born and raised South American, football. I'm telling you, he's a character. He is a character. I hope one day he'll allow me to bring him on, or I have albums and albums and albums of videos of crazy stuff that I have to go through living with him. He calls me the paparazzi because it's so memorable. Like, people wouldn't believe the stuff that my husband does. He keeps me on my toes. He is something else. But I love him very much, but he is something else. So we're excited. We're excited about our move. That being said, that's going to be a lot more content that I can bring you guys along with. So let me know if there are things that like you guys enjoy or want to know, or I don't know. I try to share a little bit more on these coffee chats than in my floss tubes because, as you can see, I don't get views on this, which is good. I don't want views. I want it to be a small niche, a small community of people. And I'm excited about all of the stuff to come. I don't think I have anything else. If you guys know anyone who lives here in the Bahamas and is interested in purchasing a vehicle, let me know. That's my task, is how to get someone to buy a vehicle here when everyone is leaving the island. It's going to be very interesting. And you guys haven't seen Gaspachito in a while, so let me take you to go say hi. No interest in anything in this half on, half off life. I forgot something. I had mentioned to you guys that I had the gazpacho head stickers last week. Those are now in the link below in the Buy Me a Coffee. So if you guys are interested in purchasing a little gazpachito head to place on wherever, then those are available now and you can go and check those out. And I did have several people buy coffees to sponsor this iced coffee chat. However, I will mention those names on the next coffee chat because this coffee chat is a little rough and I don't want anyone to sponsor this one. Actually, my husband bought me coffee during his vacation. So let's leave this one to him and he can sponsor this one. Plus, like, half of it was about him anyway. So thank you, Boo Thang, Hubby Bear. I appreciate the coffees. And I think it's hilarious that you buy me coffees and you're never gonna watch this anyway, but thanks. And okay, that's it. Now I'm leaving. Bye.